happy spring of the leaf and happy spring of the year. Hey there, stargazers. I'm Dean Regas, astronomer for the Cincinnati Observatory.
And I'm Marlene Hidalgo, science teacher from Miami-Dade County, Florida.
And I'm James Albury, director of the Kika Silva Plot Planetarium in Gainesville, Florida.
Happy spring of the leaf and happy spring of the year. This Wednesday, March 20th, is official Spring of the Leaf Day, while this coming Monday, March 25th, was the old official Spring of the Year Day. Let's show you.
Have you ever wondered why we call spring, spring? Well, that word spring is simply short for the phrases spring of the leaf and spring of the year. Now, spring of the leaf is pretty obvious because at this time of the year, leaves literally do spring out of branches and grass springs up out of the ground. And that's why we call spring, spring.
But what does spring of the year mean? Well, believe it or not, before 1752 in England and America, the new year officially began when spring began, on March 25th. Or to put it quite simply, the new year sprang up at the same time the leaves and grass did.
In fact, when George Washington and Ben Franklin were young, they and all the other American colonists wished each other Happy New Year and Happy Spring on the same day, on March 25th. However, when the English calendar was reformed, Parliament declared that starting in 1752, the new year would no longer begin in March, but would be celebrated on January 1st, a tradition begun by the Romans in 153 BC.
Now, both springs are related to the vernal equinox, which happens this year on Wednesday, March 20th at 7:02 a.m. Eastern Time, or your local equivalent.
But what does the term vernal equinox really mean? Let's not forget that the first day of spring is really an astronomical event, which marks one of the 2 days of the year when our sun is smack dab on the celestial equator. The other day being the first day of autumn. When this happens in September, we call it the autumnal equinox. And when it happens in March, we call it the vernal equinox.
Now, most people today don't keep track of the sun and its movements throughout the seasons like our ancestors did. But it's a lot of fun to watch the sun change its place on the horizon every day from equinox to equinox.
Starting this week, if you make note of where the sun rises and sets on the horizon each day using landmarks like trees or buildings for guides, you'll notice that the sun will rise just a little bit farther north of east each successive day and will set a little bit farther north of west each successive day.
And that it will continue moving northward week after week until June 21st, the first day of summer, the day of the summer solstice, when it will rise its farthest north of east and set its farthest north of west.
After which it will start to move southward week after week until once again it will rise due east and set due west on the autumnal equinox, the first day of autumn in September.
While we're out there watching the sun change its setting point, let's wait until it gets dark and take a tour all around the horizon and see what we can see.
Let's look north first, where two old friends will be easy to spot in the evening sky. The W pattern of Cassiopeia and the Big Dipper are on either side of Polaris, the North Star. If you keep watching over the next few weeks, it'll be easy to see that as Cassiopeia goes down, the Big Dipper will climb higher.
Shift your gaze into the east and you'll see the huge pattern of Leo the Lion rising in the spring sky.
Turn a bit farther to the right, and the brightest stars in the sky will be there for you to enjoy. Let's start with Sirius, the #1 bright star. Up to its left is Procyon, then above that, the twin stars Castor and Pollux.
Then look almost overhead for the star we see most often, Capella. Then down to its right is the bright planet Jupiter, and close beside it, the dimmer red star Aldebaran, and below Aldebaran, you'll find Rigel.
So, happy spring of the leaf and happy old-fashioned new year. Keep looking up.